I don't know if you want to use this for the pre-roll or something, but I would like to point out the way in which Holmes in this episode proves Jim right in the final closing minutes about his narcissism and need to talk about people invading him sexually.
No, I don't.
He absolutely does. He absolutely does.
Well, listeners, if
someone
that's not
says-
tantalized you, I don't know what will. You're gonna have to listen to the rest of the show to find out how Jonathan Holmes proves me right.
No, I
Excite me.
didn't.
Cue music!
Next week.
Oh, absolutely. Launch a tirade that will make the very gods shake in fear on their impoverished thrones. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm tired. Not been late nights. Been playing the video games, so I can write about the video games. Been playing Hokuto
What? What's that?
Oh. Fist of the North Star.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Ken's Rage 2. They didn't bother this time putting in British dubbing. So it's all Japanese. And
it's pretty expensive.
And it's a lot of people just shouting Hokuto Shinken at each other. And now I've started doing it, just force of habit. Just Hokuto Shinken! Oh! That's all that's really all Fist of the North Star dialogue is. It's just Hokuto Shinken! And then nothing else. And then some heads blow up and then everyone's happy about it. Not good game. Not a good game.
Not good?
Hoping to
You like the other one?
I love the other one. Great.
Yeah.
This is that again. But worse. Like, people give Dynasty Warriors shit for being the same game over and over, but if you're a fan of the series like myself, you know, it's kind of like a Madden thing, like a sports game thing. You can see the roster updates, you can see the new systems they've put in that, to a casual observer, they're not going to see. You know, they're just going to see, you know, a video of this, a video of that, and assume it's the same game when, you know, there are differences. But I also fully admit, I like Omega Force, they're the guys that do these games, you know, but I will admit they can get fucking lazy and cut corners. But even by their low standards, this is bad. It's... I mean, I'm talking the actual same game. Like, they, unlike Dynasty Warriors, they didn't really bother redesigning the characters much. They've still got the same moves they had. All the same boss fights, again,
What?
from the last one, but...
Just the same bosses?
But less good. Like, they took, like, features out of the boss fights that were in the first one, but it's still the same fight. Like, the same enemies, the same environments, the same moves.
No way.
But they took shit out. The only real different thing is they've thrown in a few new characters to play, but even a lot of them were like NPCs in the last game, and so they still had all the same moves and everything. It's really lazy, like really bad.
It sounds, well, first, I have so much to say about what you've said already, Jim. That's how you are. You inspire me. You get me wanting to talk. Give me ideas. It's, you are an expert on Dynasty Warriors. And people will sometimes say, oh, you just love Dynasty Warriors. That's why you gave it a good score. Not because it's a good game. But that's the exact, they're exactly wrong. They're completely wrong. Because an expert on Dynasty Warriors would be able to tell when a Dynasty Warriors game is doing its job properly or not. So you are the person they should go to for respect. They should be respecting your opinion on these things. Same with Dale North. Dale North will be like, oh, I reviewed a JRPG, and people will be like, oh, you just like our JRPGs, therefore you shouldn't review them. Exactly wrong, guys. That's why Dale North should be reviewing them, because when they suck, he knows why, because he's so into the genre and also an expert on the genre. And you are an expert on Fist of the North Star, too. I once animated you going to a Bobo. You remember when I did that?
I do remember that. That was quite fun. That was a good laugh.
That was a good time I had.
What was that for? That was for the Destructoid show, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
You had a segment on the Destructoid show for a little bit where you did roundups of the reviews. And I made a little intro for you.
But it's interesting what you said, because you get it from both ends. There's really no getting out of it. Like, if you are a fan of JRPGs like Dale, and you give a game a good score, they'll say, oh, well, you just love JRPGs, of course you gave it a good score. But then when you give one a bad score, they assume it's because you hate the genre. And they say, oh, well, you hate JRPGs, of course you'd give it a bad score. It's even if it's the same person, it's weird. Like, you can't really win, because either you're going to get accused of being, loving it too much or not liking it too much. It's happening with Dead Space 3 at the moment. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, well, you only gave Dead Space 3 the undeserving score of 8 out of 10 because you like Dead Space. And I'm thinking, but that would imply that you don't like Dead Space because you're being so critical of it. But if you don't like Dead Space as a series, why are you upset that they've quote-unquote ruined Dead Space with Dead Space 3? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
The logic doesn't work.
Exactly. They're an opposite world. It's weird. Makes me feel weird. There's a lot of weird stuff going on this week. People saying things really confidently, publicly, that just are weird and opposite. Why are they doing that?
It's been a weird start to the year. There's been a lot of strange things going on.
Yeah.
We had accusations of racism with Borderlands 2. That was interesting.
So weird. And a seemingly pretty well-meaning guy who was not being hostile towards Anthony.
No, he's okay. He had an observation and he made it.
Right.
I don't agree with it, but it was his take on it. I interpreted the character differently. He interpreted it a different way. But then it got into just shouting again. Why can't we just talk about these things? Why can't we all just get along?
And then he ended up quitting his job because his job said, hey, don't talk about this anymore, please.
Yeah, that's where it gets really murky, because it's like, first it's implied they fired him for it. Then he says then they say he quit because they asked him not to talk about it. Then it came out that maybe they were trying to tell him to never talk about this subject, and that's what got him to quit, because he felt they were, imposing on his personal life. It gets really dodgy at that point and strange. But, what can you do? But there was recently a blog by a black cosplayer who had been getting a load of racist abuse because she dared to cosplay as white characters or whatever nonsense. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if 2013 will be the year of racism, like 2012 was the year of sexism. And then what next? What next, Jonathan?
Classism, maybe?
Classism in 2014?
Maybe.
Ageism in 2015?
Could be.
Get out of my games, 80-year-olds.
Well, we've already got that. People will say, I don't play games for old people, as though that makes them seem more mature. It's always been another opposite day thing.
Dogs?
Dogs?
Dogs? Will 2016 be the year of dogs? Get them out! I don't want this dog.
Oh, it's anti-dogs.
I don't want Nintendo playing to the dumbed-down dog market with their bone-shaped controllers and their games about cats. Get them out of here! Send those dogs away! Troll that dog's Twitter account until he quits.
I got into it on Twitter with people about the racism thing.
That's a fake geek dog! For years, that dog's ignored me while I played Ninja Gaiden on the NES, and now the dog wants to be catered to. Oh, this game's anti-dog. Oh, why is that dog helping that man in Fable 2? The man should be helping the dog. Get rid of the dogs! No dogs in games! 2016, guys, let's make it happen. Sorry.
No, it's all right. The dogs we shouldn't have. And is Conrad here? Where's Conrad?
I'm here.
Conrad's seething, silently seething in rage at the idea of a dog getting its hands on Devil May Cry.
Listen to the sound of my voice, Holmes. Can you not tell how furious I am? How utterly consumed by the rage of 1,000 suns burning within me, threatening to consume everything within my purview.
Whoa.
The rage in Conrad's voice.
It's scary.
I am frightened.
Well, when someone calmly tells you that they're very angry, isn't it scarier a little bit?
I think it is. I think it is, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I come across as a pointless buffoon, but when Conrad's angry, people pay attention.
Well,
That's
Conrad
not
is
true.
very appropriate when he is
I'm
angry.
very rarely angry, but
Right, but you show
Yeah.
it. When you get frustrated or testy about somebody being stupid. Yeah, you've done it on Podtoid a few times. It's been a lot of fun. You know, remember those times you're like, rawr, it's good. But about racism, I was talking to guys about it, and some guys were saying stuff that I can be a bit of a snob, so I was just like, oh, not useful, not useful, not useful. But then this one guy was really useful, and he was getting annoyed at me at first because I was saying I don't think we should call everything that's potentially problematic that has to do with race or something that might be intentionally or unintentionally promulgating an old stereotype. That's not all necessarily racist. It's not all discriminatory or bigoted. And he's like, yeah, good point. But unless we call it racist, no one pays attention to us at all.
I'm actually going to make a distinction. I'm going to say I don't agree with you entirely on that. I think that racist is an on-off state. Something either does or does not pertain to an individual race and be categorized as such. Now, is it derogatory? Is the intent of the term used to defame or injure someone else? That's the question.
Right.
Racist is a buzzword that we use inappropriately to assume that all things that are racist are necessarily by the very virtue of being racist is somehow wrong.
I think we're agreeing. I just did bad.
We are agreeing. I think
Okay.
I think where you say these things aren't racist, I think we need to be clear that these things are racist but may not be harmful.
I'm
Or
sorry.
maybe only in a scientific sense.
All
Or
I'm implying, all I'm inferring from this is that the American economy is in the state it's in now because of duplicity from Das Juden.
Was that?
That's all. That's what I was. I mean, I'm all rounding them up. I mean, okay, if you think it'll help.
rounding who up?
Das Juden.
No,
Because of the schemes and cabals.
No.
That's just what is that not? I may have just avoided a terrible catastrophe.
I hope so. Yeah, I don't want to round up.
I'm not. Yeah, not again. Not after what happened in 1994. Oh, my school shut down soon after. Dear.
1994. What happened then?
When I started the Nazi Party in Britain. It was short-lived. It was just in the Bexley Heath area, but it was a dark time in Kentish history.
Wow, I had no idea you started the Nazi Party in Britain?
I was the new Führer of the London borough of Bexley.
In 94? You were like 16 or something then, or younger.
Yeah, I was probably 10.
Oh, my mistake. Yeah.
Which, a lot of people said. I mean, the man's racist and has been responsible for many, many deaths, but at that age, bit of a wunderkind.
Did you have a little mustache and stuff? Did you go whole hog with a little Hitler thing, or?
I went one step better. I actually had a whole hog that I made go with the Hitler thing. Porky Hitler.
Oh, Porky Hitler. See, I thought that might have been your Ava Braun.
No, that was a bear I had called Eva Bruin.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I have no idea where any of this shit is going.
Herman Oinkels?
Yes.
Oh,
that
boy.
Was quite good.
Nazi animals. This is a surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a twist.
Yeah. And every now and then I go back home and return to my mother's house and go in the backyard and the German coming back up. Go in the back garden, pay homage at the grave of Joseph Goebbels.
Oh!
Oh no.
Oh dear, animal-based Nazi jokes. Podtoid doesn't get any lower than that.
I don't know. It's pretty sophisticated. It's
By our standards, yeah.
yes.
Speaking of which, Jonathan, how many condoms can we fit in your ass today?
Oh, God.
None.
Good. Moving on. What else happened this week?
There was the Xbox rumors that you posted today that it's going to be you can't play used games and it's going to be online all the time. That got people talking.
Yeah, I started really confidently this morning. Just, this is all bullshit. This is never going to happen. Then I get fed a few little things that make me doubt and think Microsoft might be stupid enough to do it. But who knows? I think it would be fucking suicidal. But for those who don't know, yeah, it's been rumored that the next Xbox is going to be online only. Like like very much like DRM on PC games, on certain PC games. It's going to be always online, always connected. You're going to have an activation code for a game you buy, and then that disc is basically useless on any other system. They're the two really big bits of rumorish stuff that happened. Both of them just seem fucking short-sighted, even by Microsoft standards.
I have a really hard time imagining an online-only system.
It would be there are so many barriers
Right.
to that. I mean, the 360 is I forget how many it sold. It sold quite a lot, but of that number, only a percentage of them are online. There is a significant chunk that aren't. America itself, its broadband infrastructure is pitiful. Fucking pitiful. I mean, there are many people, I'm in the South, there are many people who don't live too far from me who are on fucking dial-up. I know people on fucking dial-up, and I weep for them every night. But it's true, that the internet situation is not such that I think it can support that. People say, oh, well, it worked for Valve, it worked for Steam, but Steam's not trying to sell you a box, not yet, anyway. Even that, talk about the Steam box, I've got doubts about that. But Steam as a service, it's available to anyone with a computer and an internet connection. But trying to sell a whole new box to someone who's already got that and say, this is what you need to play games on, better find an Ethernet cable, I can't see it working out. And download caps, Netflix and stuff are already trying to fight that battle, let alone a console market that's already in trouble, restricting itself more and imposing more restrictions on consumers just makes no sense to me.
It doesn't, but if Microsoft is thinking, well, we want to just make maximum profits off every single person that buys one of these things. So let's say the next Xbox only sells, 50 million units lifetime, but every single one of those persons subscribes to the new Xbox Live, and every single one of those people feels tied to buy one of our exclusives. That's, and then they choke out the used market, so no one buys any of their exclusives used. And I mean, they may find a way to turn it into profit for them, regardless of whether it works for the broad consumer base. Because they, with Microsoft, this whole Xbox thing is still kind of an experiment. It's not like their main money-making source. So they may take a huge risk this time just to see if they can pull it off, and then if they make tons and tons of money off it, then they can laugh all the way to the bank. And if it doesn't work out, they can just be like, we still got Windows, we still got everything else we're doing. We can just...
I don't know if they're that confident with that shit at the moment.
Yeah, I wonder.
Big companies and huge risks, they don't go hand in hand, especially at the moment. I just can't see them being so bold as to take massively sweeping risks like that. And especially, exchanging its customers for the sake of making more out of a smaller user base. That goes against what I'd expect them to do. I mean, again, I could be totally wrong. They could pull a swerve, but...
If they do it, everyone else benefits. Sony benefits. Nintendo benefits, because there will be a ton of people who say, what? Fuck that. I'll buy the competition's console this generation.
Mm.
You know, so either everybody's going to do it. You know, Sony's going to do. If Sony's, we've heard rumor that they might implement something like this before. If Sony does it and Microsoft does it, it could work in the console market to a degree.
Yeah. Although, interestingly, Jack Tretton actually said he's not interested in doing that. Now, I do know that, you know, what an executive says.
Yeah, what Sony Japan says versus what...
Yeah, I know that's different, but just working with what we've got to go on, Sony is the only group that's actually come out and said point blank what their view is on that idea. And just looking at the information we've got now, Sony is against it, according to Jack Tretton, who, you know, as bullshitty as he may be and as not representative of Sony Japan as he may be, he's not just some random schlub.
And he wouldn't want to say something that would make him look like he knows nothing in a year. If he could get away with it.
Well, he's a Sony executive. I think they're required by their job to do that a few times per year. That might have been one of his freebies. But who knows? But I'm not sure if Sony will do that. I know, like, the online pass, these little bits here and there, that's more these publishers' thing. They don't like to take big risks. They don't like to totally change their business model. They like to bend other business models to suit them. And just something that dramatic as a game that a system that is basically now just Steam, but can only play a certain select few games and can't be modded and doesn't do everything a computer does. It doesn't seem their style, or like any of the style of a big game platform holder. But again, I could be wrong. But as Conrad said, if they do it and they're the only one, everyone else is going to win. I mean,
wonder, people are so loyal. I mean, that's what I think Microsoft has been taught this generation, is just how loyal people have become to the Xbox brand and to Xbox Live. And I mean, what else could they have learned from their failure rates just being tolerated, and the general consensus being that the Xbox 360 is the console to own this generation, despite the fact that it's the only one that charges for online and has, you know, caused people to have to rebuy the console so many times because they melt, and yet people still swear by it as the very best console.
True.
But think of it this way, okay? GameStop is the largest retailer of games in the United States, right? Okay, so you're going to walk into a GameStop, and you're going to see the PlayStation 4 section, and it's going to dominate an entire fucking wall because it's the new games and then 3 times as many used copies. And then you're going to look at the tiny Xbox section, and it's just going to be the new releases because that's the only thing they can sell. I mean, on sheer store presence alone, it's going to push the Sony product or the competing product as a superior alternative.
Yeah. Plus, I also don't think the console makers are as bothered about the used game market as the strictly game publishers.
Right.
I mean, it would make sense, like what you said there, like it would make more sense for them to allow used games for that shelf space. And I don't imagine Microsoft or Sony or even Nintendo have so much loyalty to the third parties that they're gonna totally risk their own business for the sake of theirs. Again, that's why I think just allowing things like the online passes works out much better for them, because it allows them to still stay in the good grace of GameStop. It allows them to keep good relationships with publishers, and they don't really lose too much.
I wonder how the loss of the used game market might impact DLC sales too. Like, do people buy DLC of games that they purchased used?
I think so.
That would be interesting to find out. But again, I mean, it's like so much with this, like when it comes to piracy and used games, there's no numbers for any of this shit. We just get told what people want to tell us about it. So who knows? I have no doubt that Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo have spoken about these things and dreamed about these things and stuck things up their ass while whacking off thinking about games that block you sales and draw all money to them, and everything's done online so they can watch you at every step.
Well, not Nintendo. Nintendo clearly does not think that way at all.
Oh, Miiverse is pretty cool.
No. I'm not. That's not actually a complaint. I think I saw somewhere a comment from I don't know if it was Iwata. Yeah, I think it was in a financial call to investors, saying he doesn't understand why this cloud gaming thing is even interesting to people.
Yeah,
like they just don't. It's not even in. They just think it's completely alien. They can't imagine why anyone would want to do that. And
another thing that interested me with the Wii U was you got Ninja Gaiden Razor's Edge and Mass Effect 3 and all this stuff. No online passes.
Yeah, and that's so here with Nintendo. I guess we know where they're going to stand with this.
Yeah, they don't seem bothered. But the thing I was saying this morning was if we do get these consoles that are always online and have no used market and must be done digitally, it's going to be the best advertisement the PC gaming market's ever had. Because at that point, you've got a console that costs a certain amount of money, but can't be upgraded further, has a very definite glass ceiling in terms of visuals and what it can do, and is owned by one single company and you can't play around with it, doing the exact same stuff as a PC now with the exact same bullshit and restrictions, but obviously you can mod stuff goes really cheap with Steam sales and whatnot. You've got GOG with DRM-free old games.
Jim, wait a minute. No, you've hit it. That's it. That's how they're going to expand Games for Windows Live. They're going to kill the Xbox business and drive everybody to Windows 8 games.
I've got this image of Bulmer with an Xbox under one arm and a live grenade in the other. I'm gonna do it! Because that's what he does when he talks. He just rolls his tongue out down to the floor and goes... And then it blows up. And the other Microsoft executives are like, God damn it, he's done it! He's sacrificed it all!
He's dead too, Balmer?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just blew up.
He blew himself up and ascended to heaven to save the Windows games for Windows. And he is canonized as the patron saint of games for Windows. And it was worth it.
That'd be beautiful. I'd like to see his little ghost floating up there. Halo.
Yeah. Stuff. Just heading up to heaven on dragon wings, going... Balmer. That's what he does. I've seen him do it, and he looked at me when he did it. He had an eye on the end of his tongue.
Whoa.
He does. He looks like a fucking metal record album cover.
Heavy metal? Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like heavy metal artwork. That's what he is, heavy metal Bulmer.
Yeah, he's stocky, he's strong, he's feisty.
He's not
imagining him like shirtless with leather spiked cuffs, or like wristband things, playing a guitar, a choker.
He's not a hunchback, but he walks like one.
He's got like a reverse mohawk. You know, because he's bald, so he just spikes out.
Yeah, he's intimidating.
Yeah, he's the worst man.
We all don't want to be like him. Sure. No,
most of us.
But he is fun to talk about.
Yeah, we try and avoid being Steve Ballmer at the best of times.
Yeah. Steve Ballmer's money isn't worth being Steve Ballmer.
Yeah, people love him though. He's beloved by some. So
I'm glad he exists.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah.
He's an object lesson for everyone.
What?
Yeah. What? Huh?
I was gonna talk about other stuff, but we can talk about what you wanted to talk about.
Oh, I don't know if you want to talk about what I want to talk about.
Sure, I do. Of course.
Do you want to talk about what I wanted to talk about?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, well, let's just have it for the record. You wanted this.
No.
That was the saddest little noise. That was like the little hobo.
Somebody made a little
That was a snort.
compilation
Sorry.
of
Oh,
sounds
fuck.
I
My
made.
wife's calling me. God damn it.
What a weird. That's like a emergency
Yeah,
when she calls. It's like
it's a Zim emergency.
you're good with the word thing.
Hey, wordplay's my business.
Yeah, it sure is. It
That's
doesn't
my
matter
bag.
how sleepy you are. Oh, so you've been staying up reviewing those video games?
Oh, damn, I have been. But I'll tell you what I've been doing that's more important.
What's that?
I went to the cinema the other day
Uh-huh.
to watch that Mama. The
Mama. Oh, yeah, Mama.
Del Toro film.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty good, actually.
Looked all right.
Yeah, it's not scary, but it's got like an actual real ghost story feel to it. Not one of those just we're going to be horrific and scare you, but an actual just a sad story involving a ghost. Good film, but the thing that caught my eye was the bit before Mama. I don't know if you've been to the movie theatre, Jonathan, but they've got these things called trailers before them that show you bits of other films that aren't out yet that you might want to see later.
Like a preview?
Yeah.
All right. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Preview, as in you view it pre-viewing it.
Okay. Like a view before a view.
Yeah, like a pre-view,
Huh.
essentially.
Sounds interesting.
And that one of the previews for films was this new one coming out in, I think, April. Looked very exciting. It was called Jurassic Park 3D.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, now, I've never heard of this film. The idea of an island full of dinosaurs? Get out of town!
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Steven Spielberg, what are you smoking? You smoking some of that ecstasy, mate? You fucking madman. You fucking loony.
I've seen it. I've seen the original.
Oh, what? Did you pirate it before it was in the cinemas?
No, it's old. It came out in like 94. I saw it.
No. It's coming out in April.
I think this is a re-release in
What?
3D, 3 dimensions this time.
This time?
Uh-huh.
No. The film's called Jurassic Park 3D.
Yeah, so it's
It's out in April.
They're taking a movie they already made, so they don't have to like put a budget and time and energy into making a new movie, and just putting out another movie that you've already got access to. But this time, if you put glasses on, it kind of looks like parts of it are sticking out at you.
Oh.
3D re-release. They did
So
it
it's
with,
an old film.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw Jurassic Park is a movie that I saw, and the sound turned off, and I was grateful.
When was that out?
90, I think it was 94.
That's why I didn't see it. My army had burned down all the movie theaters in Britain. I wouldn't have heard of it. Wouldn't have heard of it because
the whole hog Hitler. Yeah.
Because of whole hog Hitler. Only joking, of course. I know full well what Jurassic Park is.
Sure.
But it is coming out in April, 3D version. And that got me to thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a real opportunity here, you and I, Jonathan.
We do?
We've got a real opportunity to capitalise on the hype surrounding... Because we were too young and foolish back in the day to capitalise on Jurassic Park mania when it first hit in 1994, the year of our Lord, because we were not the high-class, influential businessmen we are today. We didn't have capital back then. We have capital now. We didn't have you back then, Jonathan. We've got you now.
I didn't have me back then?
I didn't
have
have
me
you
now?
back then.
That's true. We hadn't met yet.
didn't have, and because you didn't know me, you hadn't realised your full potential. You were like normal Saiyan. Now you are Super Saiyan because of me.
That's great.
Training
I
you.
didn't know.
I'm 10 times gravity, and you've been training on me. On my big
So
fat
I'm better than
wobbly belly. You've been doing Kaioken's on it.
Quick aside. Podtoid listener Slow Holmes this morning told me he was really excited that we were going to be together someday, because once I said I would have sex with you, he claimed. And I was like, I don't think well, I'm just telling you right now, I wouldn't have sex with him. And he's like, come on, yeah, you would. You're in denial. I'm like, no. And then he was like, would you at least hold hands with him? And I said, no. I'd if he was feeling wobbly or something, I'd help him across the street. And he went, oh my God, that's good enough. Oh, that's the cutest thing I've ever. I just want a picture of you two making out. I'd frame it. He was like all excited about us having any sort of physical and emotional connection, but the more sexual, the better.
Oh,
really enthused.
That's sweet. But you definitely did say you were going to have sex with me.
I really don't think.
And it was a legally binding contract. That was a verbal agreement, and you don't break a verbal agreement. Otherwise, the rest of the mafia will break your cat.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's not in my plans. Sex.
It's not in your plans. Anyway, speaking of plans, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Jurassic Park 3D is coming out. What are we going to do about it?
I don't think anything. It's a little annoying that it's coming out. It's making it so people aren't excited about sequels or remakes. There was a time when sequels and remakes were actually exciting and people had optimism about them, but these days it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
They're making a sequel to The Shining written by Stephen King. That's gonna suck. And there's no reason to think it's gonna suck other than people have been trained to think that every time something makes a comeback, it is just for the cash and inspired to crap.
Absolutely. I'll be honest with you though, we're not going to have a discussion about films and reboots and remakes.
Okay.
I think the audience listening have pegged onto that fact about 5 minutes ago. No, we're going to talk about something else. I've got a surprise for you, Jonathan.
What is it?
I own the real Jurassic Park.
You do?
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's not on an island.
Really?
No. Can you guess where it might be?
Well, it's a park, I hope. So it wouldn't be in anyone's house. That's for sure. Why the heck would...
It's not in anyone's house, I guarantee you that.
It's not?
No, it's in your garden, Jonathan.
Welcome
to Jurassic Park!
I don't have a garden, I have a backyard.
Jonathan Holmes, it is Jonathan Holmes. Jonathan Holmes, the dinosaur Jonathan.
I can just see you in a white suit with an amber-headed cane.
Yeah?
Oh, I get to be the Santa guy.
No. I'm the Santa guy. I don't know if you heard the song. Right, listen to the song.
Did you not hear him say, welcome to Jurassic Park? Clearly.
That's me. Right, that's me.
You're the Santa guy.
Yes, and I'll be running around your garden just going, it is Jonathan, it is Jonathan, Jonathan Holmes the Dino. And don't worry if you heard anything what I said in that. It's all right. I will invite famous archaeologist Sam Neill to come round to your garden. I'm going to send him a letter. Tell her I've already sent it. I said, Dear Sam Neill, you are an archaeologist. I like that bit when you threatened that fat boy with a big dinosaur claw and said you were going to fucking get him afterwards. You're the kind of man I need to endorse Jurassic Park. Come round. Sam Neill's going to read that. He's going to say, well, this beats being Merlin. Fucking sign me up. And he'll send me back a letter that says, fucking sign me up. And I'll say, come on, Sam Neill, you come to the park. I will send a letter to Brundlefly, and I will say, Dear Brundlefly, I liked it when you did a sick on that sausage and ate it. I would like you to come and endorse Jurassic Park. And he's going to say, fucking great. Will Jonathan Holmes be there? And I'll say, Brundlefly, yes, he will. So they come. We invite the men, women, and children of Boston to your house.
All of them?
Every single one. It's gonna be a huge campaign. This is massive, Jonathan. I don't think you understand. Jurassic Park 3D is coming out in April. We need to get moving on this shit. We're going to send letters to every single house in Boston with your name, address, and photograph. and say, "Come here to this man's house."
You see, you have to have, you have to get a lot of people to come through the doors to fund a theme park. I mean, this is not some
Yeah.
nickel and dime operation we're running here. We have got to be really pulling them through. So yeah, I would expect most of the surrounding county to be our target demo.
I'm going to be honest,
Just for the launch.
Jonathan. This has cost you a lot of money.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, this has cost you a lot of money.
Genetic engineering is not cheap.
Yeah, so we send the letters to everyone.
Well, just how am I
So
supposed to prepare my backyard?
Don't ask questions. I've got that in hand.
Mm.
I've got it sorted. I've sent your name, address, photo, email, all your personal details to everyone in Boston. I've told them that I've broken the locks on your door so they can just come in whenever they like. You're okay with that, right?
No.
Yes.
I don't want my cat to get out, at the very least.
Oh, don't worry about the cat.
Why?
I've got the cat sorted.
What does that mean?
Don't worry about it. Sam Neill arrives. Brundlefly arrives. Haley Joel Osment arrives.
Laura Dern? Can you invite her? She was good in that one movie.
Yeah.
Citizen Ruth, I think it's called.
We'll invite Citizen Ruth.
Okay.
All the excited children of Boston have turned up because I promised them Jurassic Park. I said, come to this man's house for the Jurassic Park experience. I'm wearing my white suit. I say, welcome to Jurassic Park. We've got Conrad Zimmerman on a laptop on a stool outside your garden going, hold on to your butts, like that. Actually, no, even better. Conrad has a big hunter hat on and a shotgun, and he keeps shoving it in the kids' faces, going, clever girl, like that. Right? He is Muldoon. He's going to be hunting the dinosaurs. This is where it gets exciting. I say, welcome to Jurassic Park, and I look at Sam Neill dead in the eyes, and I say, we've got a Jonathan Holmes. And Sam Neill says, oh, what did you just fucking say? You've got a Jonathan Holmes. And I go, we have a Jonathan Holmes. And he gets really excited and bangs Laura Dern. Just has straight, full sexual intercourse with her right on the floor in front of the kids. I think that's how the film went. But we're leading up to that. We bring the kids round your garden and welcome to Jurassic Park. Here we have a Dogosaurus. And it is your dog with the spray paint green on it. And it is walking around.
Oh, that would be... Can we just use, like, monster paint or something? I don't want it to get sick.
Spray paint.
Oh, okay.
Your cat has got 2 paper plates stapled to the top of its head, so it is a Dilophosaurus.
No, we can't.
And I've been feeding it cheese and chocolate, so it vomits everywhere. And I say, look out for the Dilophosaurus's spit. It'll spit you in the eyes like it did to the fat guy. He was fatter than me, so that's okay. I can say it that way. In Jurassic Park, it spat in him because he tried to steal stuff from me.
Oh, the Newman guy. Yeah.
That's what your cat is. Your cat is that.
Is the Jurassic Park music just playing the whole time? Like, da, 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 with just a vomiting.
As I said, it's going, Jonathan Holmes.
The whole time.
Jonathan's a dinosaur. Like that. We let them look at the cat being...
It is pretty funny.
We let them look at the cat being sick until it's nighttime. Could take a few hours.
That's a long time.
I fed the cat a lot of chocolate. So it all evens out in the end. I dare say the image of a cat fucking up is going to be endlessly amusing.
My cat throws up a lot anyway.
It's one of my favorite things to witness at home, I'll say.
Yeah.
They do it a lot. Yeah.
My cat has a tendency, he gets really excited to have new food in his bowl. And so I'll put food in his bowl, and then he'll eat too quickly and upset his stomach, and then vomit back up the completely unchewed food.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's just a solid. It's like a nut log.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That happens. I know that story well. And once you get a dog, your dog becomes attuned to the sound of a cat vomiting and considers it like a dinner bell. And I have to hold my dog down when she hears my cat's vomiting, she needs to be strapped down because she's so excited to eat that vomit immediately. Anyway,
And
I'm sorry.
That is the kind of magic I want to bring to Jurassic Park. Let's let the dog eat your cat's vomit for the lovely boys and girls. We'll say, this is a scavenger dinosaur. It primarily eats the vom of the Dilophosaurus.
Here you can see the delicate balance of our ecosystem that we have cultured. It recreates accurately what the world was like before man stepped foot upon it.
Imagine such a world, if you will. If you will, Jonathan. But anyway, it's all exciting. At that point, it's nightfall, and I look at everyone and say, fuck. The Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Why would you say that?
Because something bad's happened. Because I will go, fuck. The Tyrannosaurus Rex has escaped. And it's at that point the big finale comes up, right? Do you want to kill the goat, or should I do it first?
I don't want to kill any. I was just thinking today.
You don't have to kill the goat. All you've got to really do is pull one of its legs off and throw it at the audience.
Pull a leg off of a goat?
Yeah. That's going to be the big thing, because you're going to come out in just your underpants and plastic vampire teeth in your mouth, and you will shout, "Rah!" with your hands like tucked up in front of your nipples with two fingers poking out like little T-Rex hands, and you'll stomp around. You'll go with your mouth. You'll just have to make the noise with your mouth. You'll stomp about, and I'll put a glass of water on the floor, and I'll say, "Can you see it rippling, kids?" And I'll kick the glass of water at the audience so that they're proper scared. And we've got a dead goat lying on its side, covered in flies. And you've got to put one foot on the goat's neck. I would suggest, and grab its back leg and pull really hard.
Now you'll probably want to tilt your head down so that you can sort of give the impression that you're doing this with your teeth and not with your little stump hands. But yeah, leverage is going to be really critical to pull this maneuver off, because you want to pop it right out of the socket.
Yeah, and the goat's been dead for a few days, so after some initial resistance, the rest are just slough off. That's it. You keep making noises like that, and you're going to have us convinced you're a dinosaur in no time. I know what you're worried about, Jonathan. I know what you're worried about. They're not going to see you do it with your teeth. But it's all right. I am shouting at the audience at this point. He's doing it with his teeth. He's doing it with his teeth. And if they give us any fucking lip, Conrad just aims the gun threateningly at them and says, "You better fucking believe that he's doing that with his teeth. Be impressed, please."
Clever girl.
Exactly like that. So once you've yanked the leg off, which, as I say, really, I mean, as soon as you hear the snapping noise, the rest's just elbow grease. You just have to throw it at the kids to excite them. You throw it at the kids and then look up and go, "I'm a dinosaur!" What do you think of that?
It's terrible. The goat.
It's not really. We give the kids a big sheet of clear plastic, or maybe just a riot shield, and you then charge at the kids and push them to the ground and start headbutting the riot shield while they're looking up through the plastic at you, and you just start trying to bite through the riot shield while shouting things like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you, you little fucking prick, you little shit, I'm gonna fucking kill your mum." Like that, just to really give them the scary thrill of a dinosaur attack. And you start pushing the riot shield down, just push it down, and pin them under it, and really put your whole weight on top of the shield, with the kid under it, and just start bashing it and punching it and shouting, "You fuck, you fuck, you fuck, I'm a dinosaur, don't you see?"
That's everyone loses in this scenario, because the kids are really. It's not
thrilled.
No, it's terrible. And me, I feel awful about myself and my life. And the children feel like they're going to be killed, which is bad.
Only temporarily, until Conrad shoots you with the paintball gun.
Then I'm just in
Right
pain
on the
with
up.
paint on me.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's-
I could get a tranquilizer gun.
Oh, that would be even better. It'd be nice and peaceful for you, Jonathan.
Well, yes, at that point, I'd rather be unconscious.
Okay, we'll do that then. Trank him after he's punched the riot shield about 5 times. I need you to tell you that now because I won't be there at this point.
Right.
Where will you be?
Far away.
In the
Leaving by
helicopter?
helicopter.
Yeah. A sort of helicopter. A bicycle. But I'm shouting helicopter as I drive it away.
I have to admit, set to the Jurassic Park music, all of that's pretty funny.
Pretty believable, yeah?
Fuck you! Fuck you! You little shit! That is pretty funny.
That's a good idea, isn't it?
It's a very funny idea.
Yeah, we've got till April.
It's funny in theory. I don't want to do it in real life because the crimes and just the bad. And,
Always saying crime like it's a real word. I don't even know what crime means.
I know.
Jonathan, who decided, right, that it's illegal to pin children under riot shields and threaten their mothers and lives? Who decided that? Who decided that it's against the what was it? The law. I didn't vote for it. Against the law that a grown man can't stomp around in his underpants while another man threatens children with a gun and another one kicks full glasses of water at small children.
You're right. It's not just illegal. It's also just it's mean.
See, laws are just a fabrication of a fallible man, and I personally believe in a higher power.
Yeah,
And that's you, Jonathan Holmes.
The way I look at it, Jonathan, I give God 10%. Why can't I threaten a child with a riot shield?
You've paid into the system. Now it's time for you to get a payout. You're saying?
Get something back, yeah.
You gave God your 10%. What does that even mean? Like 10% of your time, or
don't worry about you get
concentrating?
Your income, that's a standard tithe.
You get caught up in the little things, Jonathan.
That's
you
true.
don't see the bigger picture.
I am kind of detail oriented sometimes. Certainly
God's
not
sake.
with my proofreading, but
We would never make Jurassic Park. We would never have gotten as far as we've gotten if we spent time worrying about little details and health and safety and morals and the law. I wouldn't do half the things I do in life.
if you worried about the details.
Yeah. If I was worried about what some Washington fat cat has decided is illegal, or what some hypocritical priest has told me is immoral.
Or what some fancy medical degree having doctor says is harmful.
Yeah. Or what some highfalutin professor of physics says is impossible.
Well, I like
This is America, Jonathan, right? And in this great country, in this institution, in this land of dreams, my opinion is far above your facts and your laws and your sense of right and wrong. Is this not the greatest nation on earth, Jonathan? Is this not the country founded by kings? Is this not the envy of the human fucking race? I ask you, get in your underpants and threaten the shit out of some kids.
Yeah, America is good, and I don't want to be bad to kids.
Un-American.
Un-American
Democrat. Fuck off. Go to Canada.
Probably a terrorist.
Absolutely a terrorist. You're terrorizing my sense of success and adventure, which is in the Constitution.
The Constitution says
Success and
Sterling's
adventure.
adventures need to happen, or else you did bad.
Yeah, it's the first gym endment.
Why not? Why not have Gymstitution and Gym Endments? Why not?
Yeah.
I'd like to read them.
You wouldn't like to obey them.
No.
Yeah,
That's true.
if I got to rewrite the Constitution, most of it would be about you, Jonathan. If I'm honest, the right to bear homes. I don't even know what that means, but I'd want that right.
Yeah, other people are with you. You have, as I know, a lot of people that are very excited about you getting what you want and me not getting. At one point, you were just, off the cuff having some fun, saying, "Oh, I've got all these extra glow sticks from the Dead Space 3 review. I wonder if I should stick them in Jonathan Holmes' skin." And then I was thinking people would go, "Oh, Jim, you shouldn't do that to your friend. You shouldn't stick sticks into him." Of
Oh,
course not. No,
how
they were like, "Oh,
naive.
that's you do it while he's sleeping," and "Oh yeah, I'll hold him down. You get the and just like, what? Why are
Funnily
you?
enough,
What is this world? Yeah,
I did have a few people imply that one was too far. Of all the things,
only me. I am. I
I know
actually.
you said I crossed a line, which, if I'm honest, made me just think about doing it more. But yeah, I bought some glow sticks to make my Isaac Clarke bucket helmet for the Gymquisition. And I sellotaped some glow sticks across the front of a bucket and put it on my head. Instant Isaac Clarke cosplay. Cost effective, brilliant. The downside is I now have a ton of glow sticks. I've got a ton of glow sticks and a Jonathan Holmes without glow sticks in him. This is a problem. But I've got the solution. Put the glow sticks in you.
No, that hurts.
I don't know why.
Because my skin has nerves and has health. It's supposed to
Okay,
have
hang
a certain
on.
level of health to it that'll be diminished with sticks in it. Yes,
I have a thought.
you do.
Since we have Brundlefly in town already,
He's a pretty good guy.
we could just have him teleport the glow sticks into Jonathan Holmes.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it hurt any less.
We could put you in a teleporter with glow sticks and you could come out as like Holmes stick.
That would never be a flashlight again.
Jonathan Glomes, we'll call you.
No, I didn't.
Oh yes, this is brilliant. Look, right?
Mhm.
What is your favourite comic book? The X-Men. Who is your favourite X-Man? Wolverine.
He's all right.
He's your favourite X-Man. He has knives coming out of his hands every single fucking day. You can stand to have me make a few light holes, a few light piercings in your skin, and thread in glow sticks in your arms and neck and thighs.
Ouch.
I just want you to be my sordid little glow box.
No,
I want you to walk around my house full of glow sticks with your mouth open, and I can just put things in your mouth. And I'll say to people, this is my sordid little glow box.
I'm not. There's so many reasons why. I mean, even.
I know what you're worried about. The glow sticks are going to run out of glow eventually, and you'll look like a pillock. Don't worry. Once I've made the small incision in the arm, right, I'm going to prop that open with a bent paper clip so it doesn't heal.
Ouch!
And then I can just use another, like a safety pin, to just stab.
They're like cartridges.
In there, yeah. I just stab in there with a safety pin and hook the glow sticks when they're used up, pull them out, thread in another one. And the best thing is if we do it on the elbows, I won't even have to snap them before I put them in. You can do that as you play.
As I play? What am I? I'm just yowling in pain all the time in my life now. There's no playing. There's just, why? That's just my life.
You'll be in my house.
That's true.
There'll be some free Pringles in it for you.
I do like Pringles.
There you go. Everyone's a winner. I've got my little glowy man just playing about in my house.
This is probably extreme enough we could get Mountain Dew to sponsor it.
Yeah.
You know, when some Podtoid listener decides to kill me because they thought it would be fun for you. You will hear this. You'll read the news, and you'll immediately be devastated with shock and grief, and then you'll have one twinge of being like, "Wow, they really listened. They really did it." Oh, I feel terrible again. Oh, I shouldn't have said all those things. Poor Jonathan Holmes. Huh.
I must admit, Jonathan,
Uh-huh.
if I'd heard that you had bled out after someone had tried to like insert glow sticks into your esophagus and failed horribly and brutally, and they pulled your mangled but distinctly funky coloured corpse out of your house/stroke crime scene, I would be devastated. I would cry, probably.
Yeah, I bet.
For my good friend Jonathan Holmes, I would be sad and cry into my wife's arms. And I would want to go to the funeral and say some words and make it a bit fun. But as sad as I'd be and as grief-stricken as I'd be, part of me, just a tiny part, a tiny, totally not nasty part would laugh.
Because you just can't believe the world is what it is.
Just to see it in real life, the results of an idea carried through to completion by one plucky and, let's be honest, brave Podtoid listener.
Brave, sure, that's a word.
Yeah.
That is a word.
I'm not saying break into Jonathan Holmes' house, strap him to his bed with belts, and then just shove glow sticks with like razor blade sellotape to the front of them to try and dig them in. I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying, if someone ever did that, I'd be hard-pressed not to give them my grudging respect.
Right. You'd hate them for killing your friend.
And I would show up at every parole hearing.
Yeah, I'd show up at every parole hearing and I'd scowl at them. Right? I'd just scowl at them. But once during each session, I would have to give them just a tiny half thumbs up and a mouth. Just a tiny one. Just a little
Half thumbs up.
I'll mouth at them, I'm fucking pissed at you, but well done. And I'm not saying do it. Please, for the love of God, Podtoid listeners.
There are easier ways to earn Jim's respect.
Yeah.
To carry out one of our convoluted plans. That I really don't think most of these would end in Holmes's demise.
Only like 25%.
Yeah, a lot more of them are mutilations.
Yeah, or just permanent. Yeah.
Or imprisonment. Burns. Destruction of property.
Dead pets.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I want to, for the Podtoid Wiki, take a picture of where you live so we can... No.
Well, and here's the thing. If you don't do it exactly the way it was described, no respect.
Oh, yeah.
You're just some psychopath. You weren't really paying attention.
You're just some fucking Joe Schmo lunchbox, six-pack, ham and egger, whatever that is.
Yeah.
But, oh God, if you could do something with Jonathan and ham and eggs.
What does that even mean?
Just stitch ham and fried eggs to Jonathan's face. It's just...
Oh.
And we'll just parade him around Boston as the living breakfast.
I don't even like ham.
You could get on Oprah.
I could not. No.
Imagine
not get on
Oprah introducing Jonathan Holmes, the living breakfast.
That would
Sit down and say, hello, I'm Jonathan Holmes, and I was born with a very rare condition that makes the skin on my face ham and eggs, genetically. She'll be all like, oh, well, that looks tasty. Can I have a lick? And you say, lick of my face, lick of my face, lick of my face. And she starts licking it, and you're like dancing in the chair, just going, lick of my face, lick of my face.
Lick-a-mouthies.
lick my face, and the
Oh.
audience is clapping along, just going, lick his face, lick his face, lick his face, and while Oprah's licking your hammy, eggy face.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be the Time Person of the Year.
How did the old Oprah music go? Like, dur, 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 dur. You know, it's lively, little funky, sassy. Picturing that music to her just
And
eating my face.
The new Oprah music will be lick my face.
Poor Oprah. She means
Nothing
well.
poor about it. She'll fucking love having a little eggy, ham-faced boy. You can be her new son.
Oh, wow. This has been quite an episode. I should do the question soon, I think. Because I really don't want to die. And I get people,
That's a tall order, Jonathan. That's an arrogant order.
I know. I don't want to die. I don't want to die a premature, unnatural. I should say, I just don't want to be murdered. That's not that much to ask.
So heard it. You heard it from Jonathan Holmes. He just...
Make it look like an accident.
Oh, I don't.
Jonathan
I don't want
Holmes
people.
just doesn't want to be murdered. Just. So everything else is on the cards.
No, don't do anything harmful to me or anybody else. But at least
like
me to start with, right?
It's like Aleister Crowley. Above all else, do no harm. That wasn't Aleister Crowley.
No, I think that's the Hippocratic Oath.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it's doctors.
I think Crowley was something like do what you want.
No, you're thinking of Anton LaVey, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Was that Anton? Oh, what did Aleister Crowley say? Was it just? Was it just bugger me with this stick?
Crowley wrote a ton of shit.
Yeah. Just whatever Crowley said applies.
Well, maybe Crowley did say "do what thou wilt," but I know that LaVey appropriated it at some point.
I'm sure it was something like so long as it harms none, do as thou wilt.
Yeah.
But yeah. So long as it harms none.
None's harms, then it good. So don't hurt me.
Don't Holmes pain do for killing him glowstick. And Crowley said that.
Yeah. No, just don't bother me or make me sad. That's all. I don't bother you and make you sad, at least not on purpose. And if I do, just tell me and I'll apologize. It's never my intention. But yes, people, don't be bad to me.
Yeah.
Whoa, that Super Bowl commercial. I didn't watch it before. But now people are saying we should talk about it. That's one of the first Podtoid questions.
Yeah, I had a lot of people link me to it after the fact. I saw it.
I'm just seeing it now.
I leaked a couple days ahead of the Super Bowl because I had seen it on the TV or on some video site or whatever. I thought it was a really good ad.
It made me furious.
Really?
Well, I'm a minute into it now. That he's running away from girls. He's on the racetrack now. I'm watching it with the sound off, so
There's no more Willem Dafoe until the end. But here's what pissed me off, right? Because I'd heard before, because obviously anything that Willem Dafoe's vaguely involved with, I get 10 people telling me it straight away.
Sure.
As soon as the news breaks. And I was told Willem Dafoe's going to play the devil in a Super Bowl commercial. You can't tell me that without me imagining Willem Dafoe buck naked, painted red, giant horns, braying and barking like a dog for 15... Oh, I hit my microphone emphatically then. For 15 minutes straight. Just... I'm the devil! I'm gonna buy a fucking car, you idiots! That's what I wanted. That's distinctly what I didn't get.
See, I am personally the sexy devil, the seductive figure that always appeals to me. And yes, Defoe is weird, but it was nice to see his sexy side for a change, and it was nice to see him try and do something that really, he's a little smoky, and there's something creepy and off about him, but he's not a bad looking dude, and I thought the ad was fun. That's the kind of devil portrayal I like. I understand why you might have preferred a more Tenacious D, Dave Grohl takes off the Dave Grohl mask devil, but I really like that more Al Pacino in
Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate, or what's the Mickey Rourke movie?
There's a Mickey Rourke Devil movie?
In there, like a long time ago, or am I thinking of who am I thinking of?
Oh,
I think it's just called the Big Mickey Rourke Devil movie. But here's the thing with that portrayal: the suave, smooth, stylish devil. They didn't pay you royalties, Conrad, for that. That's what pissed me off. That's your shtick entirely. They stole that from Podtoid.
Yeah.
Dar. So the commercial was good.
Yeah,
I like it.
why
Yeah.
not?
We liked it. We could have been better if we made it, but we liked it. Deacon Ross asks, and by the way, that was from Racing Freak. So thank you, Racing Freak, for asking us about the Willem Dafoe Super Bowl commercial. Deacon Ross, Deke Man on Twitter, wants to know if we know of any differences between the Wii U and PS3 and 360 versions of Aliens Colonial Marines. I don't know if we can talk about it. I'm curious if there's any differences.
I know the differences, but I can't talk about it until February the 12th.
Well, that's pretty soon. So
yeah. It's early in the morning though, like really like graveyard shift. So don't worry about pre-ordering until you've seen that. Don't worry if you were on the fence. Just wait and read the review.
Are there differences though between them?
Might be.
There might be. Okay,
Yeah.
We'll find out. We'll find out soon. Good to know. That's exciting foreshadowing. Matt Court, Matt the Chimp, just for me, is asking when Teenage Pokemon's going to be finished. I'm hoping that the next episode will be finished on Friday, actually, and then will come out the next week, but I'm not quite sure. So thanks for asking. I'm going to try to hype it up a little bit that that's coming back. At least 4 more episodes. Hopefully they'll be good. Peter Shaper, VG Freak 1225. We all know him well.
Oh, we all love him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's asking, with Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge, a previously Nintendo published game heading to 360 PS3, do you see the same happening to Bayonetta 2? I don't think so. I think it's possible, but it's pretty unlikely, as from everything I've read, Bayonetta 2 really wouldn't have happened at all without Nintendo. Whereas Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge, that would have maybe happened anyway.
It's par for the course for Koei.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about Bayonetta. I mean, again, it's possible. I don't see it happening yet at all.
If it really bombs and Nintendo just doesn't care about the exclusivity of it and just thinks, do whatever you want with it, then maybe there'll be more money in it for Nintendo, the publisher, to let it go than to hold it. But if it does well and ends up being kind of a symbol of the success of the Wii U and what the Wii U is worth, then they won't let it go. That'll be up to Nintendo. I don't think they cared about Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. It didn't do all that well, and the reviews weren't that good, so they were just kind of like, That's my guess. What do you think, Conrad? Nothing?
I don't have any expectation that it's going to leave the Wii U platform. I think the game will probably perform all right, but I don't expect it's going to do too terribly well commercially, and I don't think anyone's going to be all that even interested in getting it ported to other platforms after that. I think that doesn't mean I don't think it's going to be a great game. I expect it probably will be a lot of fun. I love the first Bayonetta, and I'm really looking forward to playing it. But it's a niche game in a lot of ways, and I don't expect it's going to be viewed on Wii U and with a sole release on Wii U as a success to the point where I think other people are going to the other consoles are going to feel jealous.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to find out. I don't think Anarchy Reigns sold all that well, from what I've been told. Really not sure if that brand of game has a big audience at this point. But Bayonetta is a special case. Bayonetta resonates with people in a different way.
I want to play Anarchy Reigns a lot. I was just thinking the other day, I love the fact that it came out at a $30 price tag, that we need more games that do that. We should have 1-2 games a month that come out at that price point. I think it makes sense because you're addressing a market that you can get your sales in there on a low production value game, still provide value for the customer and give something that will give some competition to those $60 AAA titles. People think, oh, I don't want to spend $60 for another game this month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it just makes
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it just makes sense to me to try and address that niche. But then if the games that are in there aren't producing some good sales, it's not going to work out. I think Anarchy Reigns is probably a really great game. It reviewed fairly well from what I can tell, but I just haven't. I don't have $30 spare to spend and support it right now.
Well,
So,
yeah, someday you
yeah.
might. It's a weird double-edged sword because when you release a game at $30, it also says to people, "Oh, this isn't a top-tier game. This isn't a AAA game worth paying attention to." So, on one audience just immediately abandons it, while another audience who's more thrifty and more focused on really reading up on their games before making a decision might like it after they read the reviews. So that's a thing. Hilda Tildy asks who our favorite Transformer is. Her favorite Transformer is Starscream, with Hot Rod as a close second. Hot Rod? Really? I didn't think anyone liked Hot Rod. He's alright. Judd Nelson played him in the movie. Got some good lines. You guys got favorite Transformers?
My affinity for Starscream is it runs deep.
Yeah, it's beyond you are Starscream, at least once.
Sure, why not?
You were that time in that show.
I did do him in the Screw Attack death battle. Yeah. Well, just his ghost apparently wasn't good enough for the full thing. I beg to differ. But I've also got a real soft spot for the Insecticons as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're great. The Echo, how they say everything kind of twice at the end.
Electrons! Electrons! Yeah, they're quite good.
Yeah, they're pretty great. I always liked Ratchet because he helps people, and I liked Cliff Jumper because he was only $3, and they had more of him. Bumblebee was always sold out because he was popular in the show, but there's always tons of Cliff Jumpers lying around, so I thought he was good. Did you even like the
tape deck?
Oh, Soundscream? Or Blaster?
Soundwave and...
Oh, sorry, I mixed them up.
I had the Autobot one. I don't remember what his name was.
I wonder if they thought he was racist.
Handheld radio and had the cassette, and the cassette itself was a transformer also. And
sure, turned into.
I don't remember. Yeah, I didn't remember his name. I think I had Optimus Prime as a kid too. I watched the show, but I really don't remember anything about it. I wasn't that attached to it. I think I liked Mask more.
Mask was really good.
I think I like that more. And then I was really into Captain Power.
Captain Power, not Captain Planet.
No, Captain Power. Yeah, it was like it was a TV show. It was like this dark dystopian future where there was the whole world had been taken over by machines, and there was a rebellion force, and there were these toys that were sold along with it, and they were light guns.
Yeah,
shaped like ships, and you would point them at the screen and play along during the TV show, and you could earn points by hitting targets and so forth, and they sold VHS tapes so that you could play the episodes, and I used to record it every week, and just sit there in my living room and play them back over and over again. I found some of it in a box not that long ago.
I remember there was a period when kids' TV shows were all trying to be interactive in some way.
Well, and this was really edgy and dark and, like, I don't know. It's kind of, there were adult situations, sort of. I mean, at least relative to programming aimed at a kid's audience. It was an interesting program.
That didn't last too long, though, did it? You must have watched those
2 years, I think.
Yeah. It's like 20 episodes or something.
Right.
Yeah, good memory. You remembered it. I wouldn't have remembered it. Jordan Ross, that kid from Hull on Twitter, wants to know what series, if brought to the Vita, would shift a lot of systems. I don't know. What is there just one series that you think could get the Vita picked up and moving again? And if so, what would that even be?
Halo.
Yeah, that's what it would have to be, like Mario Brothers or something. Like just blow everyone's mind and reframe their idea of what the Vita is completely and show them that it's
I don't know if it's
right off, because so many people have just said wait for the price drop, or
exactly. I don't think it's I don't think it's a franchise thing. It's this costs enough as it is, and then those memory cards are just jamming it up my ass.
Yeah, it's a complete. It's just the wrong fit for the wrong price, and hopefully they'll work that stuff out.
Yeah,
Also-
a singular franchise isn't going to fix it. If they do, they're going to need more software. Yeah, so there's gonna have to be a better software focus and a price reduction, and those are the things that are going to fix it. You can't. They're not going to put out a God of War or a Metal Gear or I don't know what's some decrepit and forgotten Sony franchise.
It's funny you would say that because I was just thinking, well, the one way they could get people my age to buy it is to try to cash in on our youth, or I don't want to call it
this ought to be
nostalgia.
good.
Yeah, but if they were to bring back all of the PS1 series that we loved so much 15 years ago or so, if it was just like Ape Escape and Jammer Lammy and Parappa the Rapper and Jumping Flash. And I know I'm not alone on that.
Yeah, they can't even get the PS1 Classics ports done fucking right, though, so... They more or less gave up on that, updating the store to put them all on the Vita.
Yeah, they had a huge rush at first, at least in Japan, and then dribbles everywhere else, right? And now it's just kind of nothing.
Just... I think, like, one or two unheralded go up, like, now and then when Sony feels like it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Tomba, if they brought a new Tomba. If they just went all out with the PS1 stuff, they could cash in on people who'd kind of forgotten about PlayStation but used to love it.
Yeah.
Because there are a few people like that.
Here's one way they could do it, although they could have done it. I think the boat's passed. If every single PS Vita came loaded with a copy of the last Twilight movie, and it was the only way to watch the new Twilight movie, it probably would have done all right.
Yeah, that would have helped a little bit. It's got to be something other than video games, though, because 46 questions came in. Good grief. Here's one from CJ Melendez. He wants to know what Jim Sterling, thinks of Tom Hewlett's departure from Konami and its effect on Silent Hill. I don't know do you know Tom Hewlett?
Decently well.
Yeah.
I like Tom Hewlett.
He's at Way Forward now, I think.
Yeah, I like Tom Hewlett, which is why I couldn't be happier to hear that he's left Konami. I'm happy... even people I don't like, actually, I'd be happy for them if they left Konami. I wouldn't wish that on anyone in the industry that I didn't even like.
Wow.
Good for him.
I wonder what effect it'll have on Silent Hill, because Silent Hill... each Silent Hill game, each of the last ones that have come out have gotten a really hard rap, but even the worst of them was kind of good. And, the best of them were really good. Yeah.
He was single-handedly blamed for everything that went wrong with the franchise, as seems to happen, I think gamers find it easy if they can find a single person to blame. It keeps it simple. I get the distinct impression that with everything else Konami's fucked up, no single man was responsible for any of it. But I've seen some people celebrate now that Tom's gone. But if you think that his departure is gonna suddenly fix all of Konami's problems, then I do feel sorry for the situation you've put yourself in.
Well, the thing about Silent Hill is none of the recent games are even all that similar, are they? Like Downpour, Homecoming, Shattered Memories, and Book of Memories are the last four, right?
It's gone pretty schizophrenic, yeah.
Yeah, they're all over the place. So you can't say, like, oh, here's the problem with Silent Hill now. You can say, oh, they've tried a lot of different things with Silent Hill, and I maybe didn't like all of them that much, but you can't put it on one person or one thing that the series has been off. It's just, it's in different hands now. It's a different entity creatively. So, 50 new questions. Rats. Well, anyway, Tom Hewlett's going to be on Sup Holmes, I think, in, April?
Cool.
You remember when, Conrad? Yeah, so we'll talk to him about those.
Make sure it doesn't clash with the Jurassic Park opening.
Okay. 51. How many more questions do you guys want to do?
I don't know.
2?
I got an empty house this evening, so I'm not that pressed for time. I could do a few
Party
extra.
at Sterling's.
What'd you say?
Said party at Sterling's.
Oh, wow. That would be... Why don't you have a party, Jim? Have us all over.
Hey,
Yeah.
dude, your parents are out of town. Let's throw a kegger.
Here's the thing, though. Partly or not, I wouldn't be cancelling the wanking plans. I'd just do it around you all.
Oh, when I was in high school and we'd go to house parties, there was this guy. He was like 26 and probably a pedophile. I don't know. No, but he had this house. His parents had, for whatever reason, decided to leave Arizona, and he didn't want to go. And so they said, "Well, you just hang on to the house." And so it had, over the years, just become completely wrecked. And the living room is a concrete floor, and so we just rolled a keg directly into the living room and just worked from there. And the place was just a rat hole. And even in that place, there was a guy who will remain nameless because maybe he's cleaned his shit up, I don't know. But he would be naked at every party. Like, it was no big thing. An hour in, 2 hours in, you could tell, oh, he's gotten to 4 beers now. Because the clothes just can't come off. Just disappear all of a sudden. He just walks right through, completely unperturbed by the fact that he's naked. And after about the second or third party, you feel about the same way about it. It's just, oh, I see he's got his buzz on. Cool. And on with your life.
Yeah, it's funny how social norms can just change. As long as you know the person, you're like, oh, it's just them. Speaking of that, almost gay. Sean Minier, he's at almost gay on Twitter. What?
You keep reaching for that finish line.
Yeah, he could get.
You'll get there. Yeah, you just believe. You just gotta believe.
He is asking something a lot of people have asked in these questions. What we think of the idea of this Half-Life and Portal movie as with the J.J. Abrams connection, which was announced today, that might happen. Is that overambitious? He's asking. Other people are just asking if we're excited, asking if Willem Dafoe should be in the movies, that sort of thing. It's hard for me to get too excited about it either way. I don't have a particular affection for Half-Life and Portal. I like to play the games, and I like the voiceover. I think they're cute. But to me, it's more about playing them than really the story, the mythos of that whole Black Mesa world. So, yeah, I don't care at all. I don't want to see those movies even a little bit. But if they're great, then sure. But on premise alone and creative team alone, I'm not at all excited. I liked Lost a little. J.J. Abrams, I didn't like his Star Trek movie very much. I have no affection for him. I'm a little sad he's going to be doing Star Wars. I have a feeling he's going to make it worse. So, yeah, that's my feeling. What do you guys think?
I really like that Super 8 he did.
I didn't see that. I heard it was good.
It was pretty good. It was a really nice throwback movie. Felt like an 80s, 90s kind of one of them movies.
I was a little disappointed when Alcatraz got canceled. Like, it wasn't a great show, but it seemed to be moving in some interesting territory, and I was curious to know more, which isn't usually the case with Abrams shows. Like, I'm gonna wind up watching Fringe now because it's over, but Lost didn't. I've tried like half a dozen times to get through the first season of Lost.
Oh, it's not.
I'm just not. It just does not maintain my interest.
I need to try Lost. I saw one episode of season 2, and I didn't want to watch any more because I loved the idea of my entire opinion being formed on that. But I really should go back. I've been curious about it.
It's not like it's poorly shot or anything like that. There's nothing, a particular thing about watching it that I can point to and say, this sucks. Because that's not the case. It's perfectly fine television. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, it can't maintain its hold on me in visual form. I have read essays about Lost, and I know everything that happens in it. That's not a problem. I went and found that out because I was interested enough in what was going on surrounding it and the furor and the interest that everybody had, and despite my best efforts, couldn't get into the series. So the least I could do was go and kind of get some analysis and opinions and so forth.
There's interesting ideas in the show, but just getting the ideas through the show was a bit of a chore sometimes.
It doesn't work for me, yeah.
Yeah. Some people love it, though. That Topher Cantler, our old friend, he loves that show. So, yeah. Oh, people asking about Tiny Tina some more. I don't know. You guys want to talk about it anymore? You got any strong feelings about it?
Not really. It's kind of done now. I think the general consensus is the Tiny Toona character isn't very racist.
Is Blaster racist from Transformers?
Let's say yes.
Do you remember in the movie? I know all of his lines pretty much by heart from the Transformers animated movie. He goes, "Look out! Shout!" For no reason.
There was that weird bit when he told Megatron to get crunked as well.
Yeah.
Look, he's a racist. He hates Decepticons.
Yeah, they are. It's a race war. It is a huge race war.
All a race war.
Yeah. I was watching like clips of Skeletor from He-Man, and he's racist as fuck.
Really?
Like, it's not okay. It's not okay to just constantly have a go at Beastman based on his race, his upbringing. Like sure, hearing "very full" like once, you think, okay, all right, just the once you can get away with it. But then just fur-brained nitwit, just on and on, just you furry asshole, go back to Furrystan. It's like, no, Skeletor, it's not okay.
They should bring that show back. Just the original creative team, the original animation style, original voices, just original everything. Just new masters.
The original toy marketers.
Everything. Just want it back exactly.
Yeah. And Merman is that's his race. You don't just call someone what they are. I don't just call, I wouldn't name someone in my organization black person. Like, you are black person, you are Asian person.
It's
that's not cool.
Yeah, I feel now I have to announce that we had a whole bit on Teenage Pokemon about that. I don't know if we're gonna do it now, but if we do it, I'm not stealing it from Jim. You guys.
No, I stole it from you, Jonathan.
Did you really?
I Jonathan, look, when you're asleep.
My dreams.
When you're asleep, I like to look at you. and sometimes you say things in your sleep, and I think I'm having that.
There's a Mr. Mime. He gets all mad when people call him Mr. Mime because that's his race, not his name. His real name is Gerald Sebastianelli. I don't know if it's ever going to happen now.
Spoilers!
Anyway, look forward to that joke not being funny. Now that I told you about it. Wesley Martin asks, do you think The Last Guardian will be a PS4 launch title, or is it doomed? It's doomed, Wesley Martin. It's not a PS4 launch title. No way, Jose. They barely...
We're all doomed.
Yeah, we're all doomed. And The Last Guardian is especially doomed.
And when you're down here, you'll float too! That was Pennywise the Dancing Clown talking to The Last Guardian.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's good. The Last Guardian, the guy spearheading it left Sony, and it was built for the PS3, and the PS3 is not happening, so they'd have to rebuild it, or either that or just release a PS3 game on the PS4, which is the opposite of what Sony wants to tout with a new console, at least. Yeah. Oh, who knows? Maybe they'll pull a Nintendo and release it on the PS3 and PS4 the way Nintendo did with Twilight Princess and the Wii and the GameCube. But
just put it out now, in whatever state it's in, even if it's 2 hours long.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. Put it on PC and call it an art game. People will forgive it anything.
Oh, whoa, you rascal. I'm not going to touch that because I don't like arguing.
That wasn't actually a dig at you, actually. That was a dig at art games as a thing.
Well, that's the thing. Then I'd have to argue with you that art games aren't a thing, and then everyone would be bored.
Don't.
I won't, don't. For both of our sakes.
God, I told you this before. I told you this the other day. We can have that argument again when I am dead. When I'm dead, that can be your eulogy at the funeral. You can get up and just say, well, you're dead now. Art games aren't a thing. And then go.
Yeah, I'll probably...
You and Jonathan Blow can hold hands and just skip in a meadow. Now that it's singing Ding Dong, the witch is dead.
Well, you're not the witch. You're a wonderful man. Can you please say to Jim Sterling, I'm Mega Man and I'm going to blast you with my Buster in you, said Atari 77.
What?
I don't know why he wanted me to say that. I'm gonna blast my buster in you. Yeah, people want us to make love real bad. It's weird. I'm guessing I think that you symbolize like unbridled, unhinged homosexual passion, and I symbolize like a stuffy, uptight, like worried about letting loose guy, and they want
Yeah.
you like bring me out of the closet and take me to promised land.
I guess it's like you're Mr. Wilson, and I'm the fun-loving, free spirit Dennis the Menace.
Right, with
But
gay
with
sex.
more with gay sex. I'm the Dennis the Menace of gay sex, and you are the Mr. Wilson of gay denial.
People tell me, yeah, for a long time, that you're definitely gay, and they're almost always guys that just want to have sex with me. That happen to be telling me that.
They just rewrite the narrative to get what they want.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the way it's done. That's the way you need to do it, always.
It is very flattering that anyone would want to have sex with me at all. So I take it for what it's worth.
Well, history is written by the victor, is the way I look at it.
Yeah, once they've had sex with me, then I am gay, regardless of whether I wanted to do it in the first place or not. Anyway,
we're not saying bad sex. You will enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it has to be consensual. I mean, rape doesn't count.
No, but it wouldn't. I don't. Anyway.
No, I don't find that entertaining at all.
No.
Just loving you.
Right.
Jonathan.
Deeply.
And, loving you and you loving it is the end game.
Yeah, no.
He just wants you to feel so filled, so completely and utterly stuffed with his love.
Yeah, I want.
No, I don't want to be stuffed.
I want you to have my love stuffing.
I don't want it. No offense. Let's just be friends. It's great.
Will you be my love turkey?
No. Friendship is the way to win, not love turkey. That's what I think.
Make love, not love turkey.
No, just friendship. No, you don't have to make love either. That was sneaky. You were going to try to get me to say, oh yeah, let's make love. Yeah.
Well, you just said it, and yes, please.
I did it in funny, I don't mean it voice. That's how you know. Wow, some people really think that Tiny Tina was racist. They're still talking about it. Saying it's Daryl Skulvania said it was making fun of the way black people talk. I really didn't see that at all. It's I have to
admit, I live in a place. I've always lived in places with a fairly low African American population, and I don't actually have that much opportunity to talk to black people. But I have never heard any of them say many of the things that I have heard Tiny Tina say, and that I have come to understand are slang terms associated with African Americans.
Yeah,
I didn't even. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I've never heard anyone in real life say badonkadonk, except for me, because it's a funny word.
Well, yeah, let's just say, I've never heard anyone say it seriously.
Yeah, it just sounds silly. I don't. But then again, I mean, by the same token, I'm British, and my cultural background with race and race differences is very different from. It took me a long time to really appreciate the whole animosity and controversy with slavery, even, because that's so ingrained into American culture. I was very much an outsider to it. So this, I mean, it's strange. Badonkadonk is such a. It never gets said in Britain.
Well, maybe I'm missing something too. Is Tiny Tina making fun of anybody? Does she say, like, isn't it stupid when people say badonkadonk, they're stupid, and then says it? Or
well, the thing is, I mean, Tiny Tina herself isn't black. She's not African American.
No.
I mean,
I always sort of considered it a joke on the character itself.
Yeah, well, the way I took it, and again, I'm just saying this is my interpretation, not necessarily the only or correct one. Right. But my interpretation of it was, she's talking how white people think black people talk. Like, that was the joke to me, more making fun of the way white people talk than the way black people talk.
Exactly.
And I say this as someone who, in Britain, this is where I'm bringing some of my British background with it in, there were gangs of white kids who thought they were being, like, cool black people. And were just these nasty, violent assholes. Whereas in contrast, the actual black gangs that were in London, if I walked past a black gang, I'd breathe a sigh of relief, because they didn't give a shit. Because the black gangs didn't care. But the white gangs that went out there, thinking they were being like black people, were violent, dangerous people. It was a weird thing, to go from that to here, where there's people stereotype things the other way around, and this kind of stuff. And so anyway, that's how I took the Borderlands thing, having had lots of experience with white people, and even knowing, in sort of bled over social circles, knowing some of these guys that thought they were being black by doing that.
So they were doing a kind of verbal blackface, but because they thought they were cooler by being in blackface verbally, but they were actually just being obnoxious assholes? Is that right?
Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, the whole term blackface has a completely different connotation now that there are so many. I mean, when blackface originated, it was white people making fun of black people by pretending to exaggerate their most different traits. And then Ice Cube actually did blackface himself to try to flip it around, because he felt like he had turned into someone who was doing a version of blackface by just playing up the gangster rapper stereotype for money, and he was making fun of himself at that point. And blackface is just that whole term is so loaded with different interpretations at this point that anyone who thinks they have the final word on it, like saying this is or isn't okay, and probably, unless it's a really extreme case, they should probably back up a little bit and just say, like you did, Jim, this is my interpretation, but I don't claim to have the only interpretation. And then you can have a conversation about it, as opposed to just having someone say, oh, this hit my racist checkbox on my list of things that are always racist, like the word badonkadonk. Always racist. All right, you're racist. That's no way to be. Got to get rid of that checklist, guys. It's dumb. Dumb checklist. Well, we ended up talking about that. I didn't think that would happen. Oh, man is talking about his
Really?
mom.
Because you brought it up like 4 times this episode.
What?
You
But
really?
I brought
we
it up
can
a little.
only ignore you so many times.
Well, it's not my fault. It was just the people on the Twitter feed asking about it. Guys, it's Twitter feed. Don't blame me.
You can swerve the steering wheel for as hard as you like, but sometimes you've got to head into that ravine.
They're still talking about it. There's more Twitter things coming up. Yeah, they love talking about what is racist.
I'm surprised, because I thought it was one of those things where it was like, a lot of these controversies happen in a day, and then the next day people move on. But this one's, I'm surprised it stuck, because I didn't really see it brought up anywhere else outside of the posts on, Destructoid and Kotaku and wherever else picked it up. But apparently it's still going on in the consciousness of people.
Yeah, in the Podtoid questions Twitter, it's going on and on and on. They're just answering their own questions about it now. People want you to sing something to me. I guess we'll do that after. Now I've got the hiccups. I think I have to end the show. I don't want to ruin the show with hiccups, guys. We should. Captain Patty wants to know what he thinks of each shop price of Fire Emblem Awakening compared to the price at retail. And people are asking a lot of questions about Fire Emblem Awakening and Ni no Kuni in general, because they are selling out and doing really well, and I don't think people saw that coming. So do you guys have any feelings about that? The fact that these games that were seen as kind of dark horse underdogs because they're Japanese and kind of traditional are hitting it pretty big, it seems like.
No argument from me. It's good to see them doing well.
Is it surprising to you at all to see them doing well?
Given how everyone suddenly got really excited about Ni no Kuni, I mean, I'm surprised that it's doing as well, I guess, but not in a holy shit, what an upset. It's more of a, cool kind of reaction. Just, that's cool. See, the thing I've disliked, because people think I hate Japanese role-playing games, which isn't true at all. The thing I've not liked lately with them is how a lot of developers shifted the goalposts and tried to change and improve the wrong things. I had no problem with Lost Odyssey. It was turn-based combat, random encounters. Okay, cool. They stuck to tradition in that area, and then worked on other things. Got a really nice soundtrack, got a really nice story. Japanese role-playing games are so reliant on their stories, and a lot of those have become so trope-laden and predictable, while developers worry about reinventing the wheel with their combat systems. So to see Ni no Kuni do well, when it really is just a gestalt of traditional RPG stuff, but has a great look, a great story, and just a real sense of charm. That's very validating to me.
Yeah, in general, I think what I hope Japanese developers take from this is that if you try to be kind of Western and try to be kind of Eastern in your traditions and in your game development, at the same time, you're going to please nobody. That's kind of what happened with Resident Evil 6. That's what I felt about Final Fantasy 13 anyway. Whereas Ni no Kuni is just full blast, you know, it is Studio Ghibli and Dragon Quest together. It doesn't get any more Japanese than that. And Fire Emblem is just unabashedly an old school Japanese turn-based strategy RPG. And it's not trying to be anything but that. And that's what people want. They don't want kind of a weird chimera mishmash of some things they like kind of about some stuff, but not others. It's confusing and off-putting, and it doesn't feel good. So, if you stick to what you know, and stick to what you do well, it can go really well.
I mean, you know, stagnation isn't good, but neither is trying to be innovative for innovation's sake. You know, you'll get someone like David Cage or whoever just talk about innovation like it's the ultimate end game and should be the end game of every developer. And I'm like, no, like you can fuck up if you're trying to be something you're not. And you're trying to be something you're not comfortable with doing. If you've got an innovative idea and it came to you naturally and it's no big thing to try it, do it. Experimentation is awesome, but not if it comes at the expense of quality.
Or being genuine. Like, people can feel it when you're like, oh, I thought this would make me money, so I did it, but it wasn't really what you wanted to do with your game.
People that talk about innovation with nothing to back that up, who just say innovation like it's a thing, just this formless concept that you inject into a game, they strike me as no less cynical than someone just pumping out a sequel for money's sake.
It's just following the checklist.
Yeah.
Don't follow your checklist, guys. Don't put innovation on the checklist. Just do what you want to do. Well, I'm out of brain. I'm out of talk brain. How about you guys? Talk brain?
Yeah, I could do with taking a break.
Let's wrap it up.
Gonna write my Ken's Rage 2 review now, but I'm too fucking tired.
It's so depressing. So they just didn't even make a new game? They were just like, I wonder if they didn't have any money or something, so they just put it out again.
Koei seemed to be doing stuff on the cheap lately. I mean, we had Warriors Orochi 3 came out, originally was a PSN-only title, and that has had no English voice acting, and this had no English voice acting. It does seem like more than ever they're doing things on the cheap.
Weird. Cheap. I like cheap. They're flying fish.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. What are you doing this week, Jim?
What am I doing this week?
Tout yourself.
Okay, I have done things. On The Escapist, at escapistmagazine.com, I have Jimquisition up, called something like Dead Space, the best IP of the generation. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Best new IP of the generation.
Yeah, where I just explain why I personally... why Dead Space as a series resonated with me the most this generation. I'm pretty pleased with it. Dressed up as Isaac with a bucket and glow sticks. Still got some of them left over, Jonathan. So that's good. Also, of course, the Dead Space 3 review is on Destructoid.com now. Check that out. 8 out of 10. A step down for the series, but considering the series was already quite high, I don't think it's that. You know, it's not a bad game. I still think it's pretty great, just compromised.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. So the lowest score that any game could receive. So check that out. Also did an article today called How Nintendo Breaks Hearts with the Dennis System, which has rolled in my love of talking about Nintendo with my love of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I liked, because I really do like Always Sunny, and Dennis
My wife
especially.
and I have been working through Always Sunny. I introduced her to it a couple of weeks ago, and I guess we're into season 4 or 5 now, and I didn't think... She's such a nice person. My wife is like, I'm a pretty disgusting excuse for a human.
Oh, no, you're not.
By comparison to my wife, who is a goddamn saint. And so she watched it. They're terrible people. Terrible. You would think she wouldn't enjoy it, but it transcends, because they usually get what's coming to them, I guess, is what's so satisfying about it.
They never really win, but they often don't really lose either. They just run away.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny too. Yeah.
She doesn't like it when they ruin someone else's life. That's the point at which it goes too far for her. But
I can't remember them doing that. Huh. I'll have to watch it.
They did kidnap that Hispanic family to do an extreme home makeover. And
I haven't seen that one. I'll watch it.
The break-in scene of that episode is art.
It's an art game. Yeah. Someone asked at the last minute. I guess we should really quickly, in seconds, talk about what we think of this. Superbot ending and its relationship with Sony, and Sony marketing PlayStation All-Stars, or lack thereof. That's from Eternal Deadman. I was pretty sad to see that seemed to have died. I was hoping that would expand the Superbot PlayStation All-Stars thing. I was hoping that would keep going and keep getting bigger, because the DLC characters were pretty good. It was from Gravity Rush, and then guy from Killzone, was it? Who was it?
Well, do we know that they're not going to produce more DLC for it, or additional content?
They are.
Anybody?
It's from pure memory, but I remember reading, oh yeah, there may be new content, but it won't be from Superbot, and it.
And that's not that all that uncommon either.
Yeah.
For one, the developer makes the game, maybe the first DLC or two, and then additional DLC content is farmed out to someone else. And from a cost perspective, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's really unfortunate for Superbot. I hope that whatever it is that they're doing going forward is something new and successful. But it's not that all that strange to me that it happened.
I guess I took it harder than maybe I had to, but it seemed like this meant harder.
Fans would be requiring Jim at this point to make a joke about how much harder he could be hitting you.
But why did it? It's not like anyone really wants to have sex with me. Anyway.
Not this again.
It's all it's always going to be pushing.
We got to wrap this up.
I'm sorry. Let's wrap it up.
Let's not turn this around on you and your sex again, Jonathan. You
it's
narcissist.
Puzzling. I'm puzzled.
You narcissist.
It is not normal. I don't go anywhere else in my life and have people be like, "Oh, someone said harder." You know what we're all thinking? Uranus. It doesn't happen.
No one said anus.
Yeah, hey, nobody said anus.
Right, I know.
There's an anal moratorium.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Moratorium. Yeah.
Yeah. It's open season on your dick, though.
On Sub Holmes this week, we have Matthew Walden, former writer for Destructoid. He went on to write for game trailers, TV. He's written for Jeff Kiley. He is a story producer on LA Inc. He's done all sorts of things since working at Destructoid. He actually emailed me and said, I have something I really want to talk about on Sub Holmes, and I think it would be kind of a big deal if you'd be willing to have me. So I said, okay, and I don't want to spoil it, but he's got a lot of stuff that he's pretty serious about that he wants to talk about. So that'll be a thing. That'll be a different kind of Sub Holmes this Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the live recording. You can get in there, chat with us, ask us questions. That's on Twitch TV, Destructoid's channel on Twitch TV, and also just on Destructoid you can find the post at that time. And then we have the rerun of Sunday's episode with Nels Anderson, who is the lead designer on Mark of the Ninja, a critically acclaimed 2D stealth action game for the Xbox and on computers. It's on there too. He was a great guest. He was passionate.
He was really, really good.
Yeah, he's funny, smart. If you want to make video games or just figure out how to make a good video game, if you want to hear about how that's done, he definitely knows his stuff. With his background, he started with tabletop RPGs. That's what he wanted to make. And that kind of focus on just design over everything else, over aesthetics, over gameplay, really just the thinking of how a game is worked out from a design perspective really paid off for him. That's why Mark of the Ninja worked out so well, from what I can tell. So that's a thing. And I reviewed Little Inferno and Tokyo Crash Mobs and Aereo Porter. And now everyone thinks I only like reviewing weird downloadable games. But I reviewed all them. You can read about it if you want on Destructoid. And I think that's it for me. How about you, Conrad?
Oh, I got another episode of Office Chat that just got back from editing, so that'll be probably around the same time this is. We talked about the Ouya going to retail, which I think is interesting. And we talked a little bit about the Capcom's About Face on Resident Evil 6. And something else that's a mystery, and you'll find out when you watch it.
I will. That sounds exciting. Jim!
Yes.
How can you ever say to me, not this again, to me?
What?
On Podtoid? How can you? Because every week you talk about torturing.
I never
me.
said not this again. I just said, oh, it's this again.
I
just
don't
pointed
know.
out that you love talking about people having sex with you.
No,
I think you've got a problem.
not.
I think you might be a nymphomaniac.
Really? I'm not nympho. I don't.
I'm not nympho.
I'm not. All right, I just had to vent on that. All right, I guess we can end the show whenever you want. You love me?
Yeah.
Oh, I love you too, Jim.
I love you, little boy.
Oh, thanks. You too. You too, Conrad.
Oh, God.
Aww.
I'm really trying to keep my eyes open now. Burst of energy throughout most of this Podtoid. This is the last of it, I think. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you to my special friends, Conrad and Jonathan Holmes. I can't ever just call you Jonathan. I can call Conrad Conrad. I can call everyone else I know just their first name. You, it has to be a full title.
I remember the first time you sang Jonathan Holmes at me. I was really puzzled. And and at that time you were puzzled too. I was like, why are you doing that? And you're like, I don't know. It was like it just came over you and you couldn't help it. Now it's...
It came over.
I would have never thought of that. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, dear. Oh, yeah, we got to say goodbye. Bye.
Oh, goodbye.
Bye.